let's talk about what goes on in a guy's head, like the actual narrative he has in his head when he starts to regret losing you. If you watch my videos or just dating coaches in general, there's a lot of videos out there that talk about how to get a guy to miss you or regret losing you, the things you need to do, no contact, all that kind of stuff. No, we're going to go deeper. We're going to talk about what he's actually thinking in terms of regretting losing you and what keeps him here, what keeps him away, and what pulls him forward, okay? So jumping right into this, the first thing I want to say, and I am going to talk about my older videos here because it kind of makes sense why you hear us bring this up a lot, but when a guy starts to regret losing you, think of it as like a hypersensitive moment, like hypersensitive mode with missing you, okay? If he's regretting losing you, it's at that moment in time, he's very hypersensitive with missing you, and he's getting flooded constantly a lot with thoughts of making the wrong decision, the good memories you had, all the good things about you. If he doesn't come back, how he loses all that, like that stuff really hits him hard. And that's why I talk about in my videos, which I'll link to at the end of this. That's why I talk about I mention so many times, women, you have to act as if he lost you. You have to act as if he missed out on his chance, okay? And play the role that so well that he actually believes he lost you, because he is going to go through this hypersensitive moment. And here's the beautiful thing, ladies. I said it in the other videos. It is guaranteed to happen. Not regret losing you and coming back. That's this or that. But the stage where he actually processes all this and reflects on it, that is going to happen. This hypersensitive moment where he's like, oh man, now that I think about it, she was a good girl, she was this, she was all these great things. Again, it's easy for him to pull away and lose you and make the decision to leave when he has you. That's easy. That's a guy taking you for granted subconsciously. He might not even know it. I always say we take things of value for granted all the time. Money, our health, friends, family, water, food, especially if you're in America or a first world country, you take all that shit for granted, and it's all value. Your life would completely change if any of those things were gone, okay? So he's going to do the same thing with you. And then he's going to reflect on what it's like with and without you. And ladies, during this moment, if there's a lot of good things that you had, okay, and you guys weren't fighting, I'm not saying you can't fight, but if you weren't fighting a lot, he is going to regret it. He is going to regret it. Now, what determines if a guy comes back or not? What determines if a guy realizes, I effed up, I need to return because I miss her and I'd be an idiot if I didn't do this, or just move on with his life? I think it comes down to two things. One, the assets versus the liabilities. Are the assets worth the cost of, or the liabilities to obtain? And he was thinking about this initially before pulling away. And this is the initial reason why he pulled away. He says, I know you have these assets. I've been getting them for a while. And here's the liabilities. But like I said, a guy could take the assets for granted. And then here's the liabilities. And he's like, it's not worth it. So he pulls away. But it's so much different now when he's not getting the liabilities. He's not getting the assets. He's not getting the liabilities. But when you don't get the assets, the liabilities don't look so bad. It's like, well, that actually was worth the cost. It's not so bad now that I think about it. Okay? And then a guy will return. Number one, that's one way. The second way this usually happens is if a guy has changed. Usually men pull away if they're emotionally unavailable and they cannot give you a relationship. So maybe a guy over several months has realized, you know what, I'm an idiot. She's a good woman. I'm just in my head. I'm freaking out. And then he comes back around. This is another reason I tell my clients all the time that if a guy comes back around several weeks later, a month later, you really have to question it, because I'm not saying it can't happen, but you really have to question it, because it's like, how much can a man change in that period of time? Not that much. At least not that much. He doesn't wake up and realize how amazing of a woman you were when you've been showing him that this whole entire time. Okay? But that's beside the point. What a man is usually thinking about is, first he gets into that hypersensitive mode, then he gets into more, that kind of dies down, and then he gets into this realization, this reflection mode where he is actually weighing the pros and cons again. And I'm going to tell you the number one thing he's thinking about. This is what determines if a man comes back or not, besides the emotional availability, is she the best option? That's why men pull away. You are a great girl, you're fun, you are awesome, but he does not believe you are the best option. And there is a big difference, ladies, between being the best option and him believing he's the best option. It's both of your job. Well, it's your job, not his. You're not entitled to it. You have to convince him that you are the best option. And women do not like this. Women do not like this, okay? Because it's like, well, if he doesn't see it, then he doesn't, he doesn't deserve it. No, that's not how it works. What people don't understand is we're all marketers. You have to portray yourself as, sorry if I hit my mic there. You have to portray yourself as the best option. Does that sound codependent? Yeah, but don't be codependent. That's just the truth. That is the truth here, ladies. I'm not saying chase a guy. I'm not saying bend over backwards. I'm not saying put forth more effort than necessary. Just do your part. If you look good, you take care of yourself, you're a good ass woman, you're loyal, you have integrity, good traits, you're loving, caring, nurturing, all those things. That's all you need to do. It's his job now to prove to himself that he's a good suitor. I can provide, I can satisfy, I can protect, I'm a leader, I'm in my masculine, I'll make sure you're okay, I'm willing to sacrifice, like all that type of stuff, okay? But when a man does not come back around, it's because he doesn't regret losing you. And if he doesn't regret losing you, it's because he is not convinced that you are the best option. A man will only come back if he realizes that he is in a worse position because of the decision he made. He's going to sit there and be like, man, if he doesn't think, man, I effed up. Like, I really effed up here. If he doesn't think that, you're not going to get him back. But that is what a man needs to think and feel for him to realize, yeah, I messed up. She's a good woman. She's one of the best. What am I doing? And then come back around. If he doesn't believe that you're one of the best options he can have, it ain't happening, ladies. Now, if you want to know how to trigger this, okay, then I suggest you watch my video popping up right here. This video is going to give you everything you need to know on how to trigger instantly a guy to regret losing you. Okay, with that being said, I love you all. Take care and peace.